Welcome, I am Rail Zeev and your host for Keep Traveling Your African Vacation, the only podcast which brings you insightful information in the African tourism industry by real tourism professionals. Today is our 15th episode and I have the pleasure of introducing Stefan Hugget, who is Leisure Sales Manager for the Newmark Group of Hotels. Stefan, welcome to the show.
I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for getting me on the show and giving me this opportunity to share with you what beautiful products we've got and what an incredible privileged job it is as leisure sales managers.
So I noticed that the Newmark Group of Hotels covers a vast destination area. Fill us in a little bit on what areas you cover.
Newmark Hotels and Reserves is a management company that manages a portfolio of products that predominantly covers hotels and reserves within South Africa. We have started our project of moving out of South Africa into Africa in recent years, which I will go into a little bit just now. But I want to start in South Africa. Our starting point in Cape Town is in the waterfront. A big part of my job is destination selling, to get people to know about other places and hidden gems in South Africa. In the Victoria and Alfred waterfront, we have 4 hotels. The V&A Hotel, which is probably the most well-known. We've got a 5-star property right across the road, a sister hotel to them. It is called the Queen Victoria Hotel. Then we've got 2 extensions of that, which is the Manor House, which is more of a high-end luxury suite, and the Dock House, which is actually the old harbour master's house back in the day when the waterfront was a working harbour. So that house has been kept as far as possible in its authentic state, so that old world feel, wooden staircases, wooden floors. From there we move towards Mouille Point, Green Point area close to the lighthouse. We've got a beautiful little property called La Splendida. La Splendida is ideal property for guests traveling in that has got a massive itinerary. And they're doing the mountain, the penguins, they're doing Winelands, and they need an extremely good product to just come back to, have a good sleep, and get out and go again. So that's what we offer from there. Now, Winchester Hotel is truly a beautiful property. Newmark took it over roughly about 2 years ago, after it was closed for 2 years for an extensive renovation process. So it still has that Cape Dutch feel to it, but in a very modern way. It is really beautiful as you come through the entrance, this 4-story courtyard. It's just bright and white. It's such a welcoming, and when you walk in there, you truly feel like I'm on holiday. A person needs to come there and see that. From there, we go to Hout Bay. We have our property that we call Future Found Sanctuary. Also a property that came into the portfolio approximately 2 years ago. Now, this is a unique hidden gem. This property is a wellness retreat. So there's a 5-bedroom, a 4-bedroom, and a 2-bedroom villa. And each one of these villas is a house that you share. You can either have it as a villa buyout option, or it is ideally situated for your normal FIT guests to just have their own room there. There's enough space. It operates as a hotel as well. You have a chef that cooks for you in the evening. So it's a very intimate experience. Now, where the wellness aspect comes in here, which is the thing that we're most excited about, is that we've got our add-on modalities for wellness. When you're staying there, you can add your yoga sessions, your Tai Chi sessions, your sound healing, your IV drips, Thai boxing, fire drumming, all these wellness aspects that we can build a beautiful wellness experience around. So everything on the property allows for that and lends itself being nestled within the mountains.
So Stefan, what other properties do you have in the greater Cape Town metropole area?
Towards the Stellenbosch Winelands, where we have a beautiful property called Blauwklippen Manor. It is situated on Blauwklippen Wine Estate. That wraps up Cape Town. From there, we move up towards Graafrenet, your Great Karoo area, where we have a property called Mount Kamdaboo Private Game Reserve. Now, that is predominantly for your self-drive type of clients that drive up the garden route. Now, one thing about the area, it's extremely rich in history. It's one of the first places where the Anglo-Boer War took place. A lot of old relics and monuments. So much more than just visiting a property, but also engaging in the cultural side of it.
So Graafrenet is ideally situated for people that are willing to self-drive.
Yes.
Before we move on, let me just ask you, with these different properties, are you offering logistical assistance between the properties?
We can recommend third parties for transfers.
Okay, now that we have finished the Western Cape, what else does Newmark offer?
Further north is going to be in your Greater Kruger area in the Umbabat and Timbavati area. we have Mouille Private Game Reserve. Now, at Mouille, we have 3 camps. Mouille Main Camp, Geiger's Camp, which is a more luxurious offering, and we have recently launched our African Retreat Walking Safaris, which is new. It's for somebody that if you're fit and you speak to your guide, you can go for a full day walk and experience the bush and really get to know it. From Mouille, we move on to our property in the Waterberg. Now, the Waterberg is a relatively unknown area to most of our international guests. Fly into Johannesburg and it's a 2-hour transfer where we can assist you with that transfer through our preferred third parties. It is called Waterfront Private Game Reserve. We have 2 lodges there called Mouille and Letamo. Just to distinguish between the two, the difference, Letamo is a family-friendly lodge, a big focus put on family living, a very unique selling point there that we will give children an additional game drive. Usually there's an age limit for children on game drives. We will do a separate one later in the day that is just for the children so that they can also get that experience to see paw prints to get them engaged. Mouille is our ultra luxury adult focused lodge, which is for honeymooners, great panoramic views and beautiful dining options. From there to Mpumalanga, where we've got our Nkumazi Private Game Reserve, which is our only tented accommodation, beautifully overlooking the Kumati River, and it's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Then to mention, in Sandton, we have a very beautiful hotel called The Catalyst, for clients that want to come in and do a shopping experience in Johannesburg, in Sandton. And we will assist arranging that through our third parties, the transfers and a guide that will take you on that shopping experience.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but people can contact Newmark and you could put a whole package together with them spending a couple of days at a wellness place in Hout Bay, spending a couple of days at the waterfront, and then maybe flying up to Kruger National. So you're keeping it all within the Newmark hotels. Is that correct?
That is correct. Our main objective is to be able to create and curate a itinerary for you throughout Africa that you use all the Newmark properties. We are very excited about opening our brand new hotel in Victoria Falls called Hupenia Lodge, a 5-star property in Bakota Gorge above Rapid number 5, a new build, and will be opening in December. We are situated on the Zimbabwean side of the Victoria Falls. From there, we move to Uganda, where we have recently opened Gorilla Heights. Our island properties, we look at Zanzibar, we have Tsewini, and then in Mauritius, we have 2 beautiful properties, La Maison and Mystique. All 3 of the mentioned island properties are undergoing soft renovations in the coming months, where these properties are really going to be enhanced.
We've touched on these different areas, and I think what jumps to mind for potential guests would be connectivity. How am I going to get there? What is the easiest way for me to connect?
To answer you on this specific question, we recommend DMCs in country for guests to work with, who is better equipped and has got more of the ground knowledge, able to assist the guests with making the best possible decision on how to move from a certain country, whether you are coming straight from South Africa to Mauritius or you decide to go from Uganda to get to Mauritius. They will advise you on the best way possible. So we will connect you with the DMCs in the country to have that conversations with. We are contracted obviously with all the DMCs in each country, and we work closely with them. You get us that's got the product knowledge, and you've got the DMC who's got the ground knowledge, and combining that, we will be able to provide the best possible solution for your guests.
Let's just clarify that for a minute. When you're talking about DMCs, destination marketing companies, you're referring to tour operators and travel agents, etc., right?
It's a force of habit. We talk about DMCs and tour operators, travel agents, ITCs. It's all of them. Anybody is welcome. There's no business too big or too small when it comes to working with Newmark. We're looking for the ones that gives you a base business that can follow through for a specific property so that we can grow on that and establish relationships. Newmark is very focused on relationships and working with people and finding solutions.
Tell me a little bit more about what Newmark might be doing as far as staff, education, and upliftment programs.
Newmark, as a management company, the clients that we take on, which is the property, right? There is certain aspects that needs to be in place at the property that we need to maintain and manage. A lot of that is the correct staff in the correct positions, the correct training for staff. From Newmark side, we've got a team that is dedicated to training staff in the hotels. From an HR point of view, HR looks after the employment of the correct staff at each property to ensure that we've got the correct people. That goes hand in hand with our training team that's part of the HR team to ensure that people are upskilled regularly and given the opportunity, because we want people to grow within Newmark. So there's always the opportunity in Newmark to move from one property to another one in Newmark in a higher position. We also want to keep it in the family and get people to grow within so that we don't lose skilled labor, because when we are upskilling people, you want to maximize on that. That is the great thing. So that is some of the big initiatives that we are part of. We also manage the whole complete reservation system for each hotel. Newmark sits and looks after sales, marketing, HR, training, finances. I always laugh and I say the cool stuff happens in the hotel where the people are staying and the team there just creating wonderful, amazing experiences. That's what gets me excited about my job. I don't mind doing the dirty work as long as you see the smiles on a guest's face when they check out. That's the most important thing.
It's really good to know that somebody that's working in Cape Town could possibly get a promotion to the Kruger National Park, vice versa. I'm assuming for immigration purposes, this is not going to happen between countries, although there could be a possibility, right?
To give you an example, our former general manager of the V&A Hotel is currently the general manager at Mystique in Mauritius. The resort or office managers at Mount Camdebou is currently the general manager at La Splendida in Cape Town. So there is great stories of upliftment, of growth, of getting somewhere, which is very amazing.
Without going into more detail of the actual properties themselves, I want to hear a little bit about Stefan and where he's come from to get to the place where you are today, because leisure sales manager for such a vast group is a big commitment. I'm sure there's a lot on your shoulders. So please give me a brief history of where you've come from and what you're aiming for, Stefan.
Great. I'm more than happy to say what my path was, because I had an incredibly privileged past. I work with amazing people and I still have such great relationships with the properties that I passed through. I studied hotel management initially, thinking that I want to go work in operations as a young lighty. That was my dream. I finished my studies and I was like, no ways, I ain't working this hours. This hours is not for me. I'm going to go do a normal sales job where I can sleep late in the morning. I quickly realized that that's not the way things work. I then got a incredibly great opportunity, and I'm so thankful for a lady called Veronique Rousseau, who was the sales and marketing manager for the Liz McGrath collection, to give me an opportunity to start as a sales manager. I was based at Sellers Hohenort, and for my first sales position, I was looking after 3 properties. So that was learning very fast how to distinguish between 3 properties, what clientele is the right one for which one. So I feel that thrown into the deep end was a good learning curve for me, and I learned so much. Then an incredible opportunity came along. A lady called Angela Lorimer from Speed Wine Estate contacted me, and she wanted me to come and join the team there as a corporate sales manager. I was hesitant because I didn't know the property, and she just said to me one day, come and have a walk on the property with me. And I went there and I walked down Speed. Now anybody that's been there knows how beautiful that property is. And I walked down there and I was like, if this is going to be where I'm going to be working every day, you got me. I went to Speed and I worked there for many years until COVID struck. I got another incredible opportunity after spending a few months home to join the one and only Cape Town team. That was my first big experience in a ultra high luxury hotel in a big group. Although my focus was only on the one and only Cape Town, I always wanted to know more about how the group operates. I learned to better explain what the property is like, and in better terms make people understand and be able to build a picture in their brain when I speak to them. So that's something I learned when I was at One and Only, and I'm forever grateful for that learning experience. I think that the amount that I learned and grown in that short space of time at One and Only was when I realized I want more, and I want bigger portfolio. I want game reserves. I want properties outside in Africa. I love Africa. That's where an incredible lady, Alzan Chambers, made contact with me and offered me a position to join Newmark as leisure sales manager, working in a team. We were a 2-man team looking after the entire Newmark portfolio, and we hit the road running. And with everything I've learned through all the other properties, I just quickly found my feet, and I learned how to understand that each property in the portfolio has got different needs. I believe I can help you create the best experiences. I feel the honesty factor is very important. Don't just try and close the sales.
Unfortunately, the listeners won't see the smile and the smirk that you have on your face, but I see it and I can hear the joy that comes out in your voice when you're talking. So you're definitely living the life. Stefan, we come to that part of the show, and I know that the Newmark Group have been generous in offering a prize giveaway for the podcast listeners. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're giving away?
Thank you, Raul. What I'd like to offer is I would like people to discover Cape Town and go out to the Hout Bay area and go see that beautiful other part of Cape Town. We would like to offer one night complimentary accommodation at our Future Found Sanctuary. I would also like to let you know is keep listening to the podcasts, as we will be going into more properties going forward. And if you win multiple times, you can put together a whole nice trip for yourself.
Stefan, thank you. That's very kind of you and Newmark. And I look forward to chatting to more of the people on the ground at the different properties, learning more about it. That's going to be fascinating. So I really look forward to doing more work with Newmark. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time.
I appreciate your time, and it's my pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic day.
Today I was chatting with Stefan Hugget, Leisure Sales Manager with the Newmark Hotels Management Group. Do not forget that prize giveaway of a one-night spa stay at Future Found Sanctuary and many more night giveaways from the Newmark Group. All the details can be found in the show notes of this episode, or head over to www.wildsunsets.travel/podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please rate the show on Apple Podcasts or drop me an email. Tune in again next week when we will be chatting to Natalie Van Pay, who is co-director of Nile Safari Lodge in Uganda. My name is Rail Zeev, and consider this. A few years from now, you will not remember how much it cost you, but you will still remember the memories you made. Keep traveling.